Most people think that if you cry alone, it means you're weak, like you're hiding something, or you can't handle your emotions in front of others. But psychology tells a very different story. Crying in private isn't a sign of weakness. It's often a sign of emotional strength, self-awareness, and quiet resilience. It means you process things deeply, just not for display. If you're someone who cries in private, here's what it might actually say about you. You value emotional control, not suppression. Psychology shows that people who cry in private aren't avoiding emotions. They're choosing when and where to feel them fully. You might hold yourself together in public, at work, with friends, or around family. Not because you're numb, but because you understand timing matters. Then when you're alone, everything you held in gets released. For example, you might go through a stressful day smiling and staying composed, but the moment you're alone in your room, the tears come. That's not fake, it's regulation. And the truth is, being able to delay emotional release instead of exploding in the moment is a powerful form of control. You process emotions deeply. Research indicates that people who cry in private tend to be deep processors. You don't just feel things, you analyze them, revisit them, and try to understand them. That's why your emotions often come out when you're alone, when your mind finally slows down enough to reflect. You might replay conversations, think about what someone said, or question your own reactions. And then suddenly, it hits you. The tears aren't just about what happened, they're about what it meant. This depth can feel overwhelming at times, but it also means you're highly self-aware, which is a rare strength. You don't seek validation for your pain. Psychology shows that some people cry publicly because they need comfort, support, or reassurance, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you cry in private, it often means you don't rely on others to validate your emotions. You feel things fully, even if no one else sees it. For example, instead of venting immediately or posting about your feelings, you sit with them. You let yourself feel everything first. That doesn't mean you don't need people. It just means your emotional world isn't dependent on an audience. And that kind of independence can make you incredibly strong, even if it feels lonely sometimes. You protect others from your emotional weight. Research suggests that some people hold back tears in front of others because they're highly empathetic. You might worry about burdening people, making things awkward, or shifting attention away from others. So you wait. You wait until you're alone, where you can feel everything without affecting anyone else. For example, you might comfort a friend who's struggling, even when you're hurting too. And only later, when everything is quiet, do you allow yourself to break down. This doesn't mean you should always carry things alone, but it does show how deeply you care about others. You find safety in solitude. Psychology shows that emotional expression depends on perceived safety. And for you, safety doesn't always come from people. It comes from being alone. When you're by yourself, there's no judgment, no pressure to explain, no need to hold back. You can cry as much as you need, without worrying how it looks or how it affects others. For example, you might feel uncomfortable crying in front of people, even those close to you, but the moment you're alone, you finally feel free. That's not isolation. It's your mind choosing the environment where it feels safest to be vulnerable. You're quietly resilient. Research indicates that people who process emotions privately often develop strong internal coping systems. You learn how to sit with pain, how to recover on your own, how to keep going even when no one sees the struggle. You don't always show how much you're carrying, but you carry it anyway. And while that can be heavy, it also builds a kind of resilience that isn't loud or visible, but incredibly real. You might cry at night and still show up the next day like nothing happened. That's not weakness. That's strength most people don't even notice. So if you're someone who cries in private, here's the truth you need to hear. You're not hiding because you're weak. You're processing in your own way. You feel deeply, you think deeply, and you protect both yourself and others in ways most people don't even realize. But remember this, strength doesn't always mean carrying everything alone. It's okay to let someone in sometimes. It's okay to be seen. You don't have to turn your private tears into a performance, but you also don't have to face everything by yourself. If this resonated with you, it probably means you're more emotionally aware than you think. And there's more to understand about yourself. Subscribe for more psychology insights that help you see your hidden strengths clearly.